we're back.
Yes, with another one. Pew 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 pew.
Man, what's been going on, sis?
I'm good. Life is good. I got a new mic, so I'm feeling like a true podcaster right now. Pew pew pew
Pew pew. Let me find out. Let me
pew.
find out.
I mean, I ain't on your level yet with the screens and this and that and the third, but we gonna do good with the mic or whatever.
Told you about telling my business.
You
Telling
the
my
real
business.
true life podcast over there. I'm baby steps over here. We
Listen.
we we gonna get there over time. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe in season 8 we might.
Now season 8. Wow. What's about season 8? We in season 2. You talking about season 8.
I'm saying, listen, life be life, and rent is almost $2,000. So,
Listen. Don't make my head hurt.
so
Shoot. Child.
priorities.
Yes, priorities. But you gotta invest in yourself. Yeah, I gotta keep saying it. You gotta invest in
Yeah,
yourself.
and it's important because who gonna do it for you? Nobody. So you got to do it
Who?
for
Like
you.
who? Exactly.
That's the lesson all in itself. Invest in you. Okay.
I ain't playing with you today. I ain't playing. You always come up here with some mess. I ain't playing with you today. So what we talking about today?
Today, we are talking about growing in grace and what does graceful growth look like? Say that 5 times fast.
I'm not. I'm not playing with you. Get me caught up. You say it.
This whole month we've been tackling our prompts for our writing challenges that we've had. Both of us being life coaches. Pew, 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 pew. So
Very.
we've given the people a little bit of our writing challenges that we've had from Lions Mentality and from Graceful Empowerment. So we've been mixing up the two. So today is all about growing in grace.
So what does that mean to you? Because I mean, that's your department right there. What's growing in grace?
I mean, for me, growing in grace means giving yourself the room to make mistakes. A lot of the times when we are growing, we are fearful of growing because we don't want to make mistakes. We want to have everything perfect. But growing in grace is obviously giving yourself something that you don't, well, I don't want to say necessarily deserve because God gives us grace, right? And we don't deserve the grace that He gives us. So, in turn, we have to give ourselves the same grace and understand that we're human. We're going to make mistakes. This is life. We're not going to always get it right, but we do have the opportunity to try again and then try again and then try again if we fail at it the first time, or if we miss something. So growing in grace for me means just giving yourself that room to make errors and try again.
That's hard though. Because especially if you're that type of person that, is your biggest critic, you're gonna always beat yourself down and say, I can do better. I should have did better, or I could have did this, or I could have did that. It's hard for you to have grace when it comes to yourself. Yes, God gives us grace every day, and sometimes we don't deserve it. A lot of us don't deserve it because we live this life, thinking that we're doing right, but in the whole time we're not. And God still wakes us up the next day and say, you know what? You got one more shot now to get it right. And we sometimes still fumble ourselves because we still be out there doing the same old thing that we did the day before. But
And I think
growing.
that comes with us just enjoying the familiar. We're used to it, right? So,
Mhm.
growth requires change, and change, it could be fearful because we don't know what's on the other side of that coin. But if you're a believer, you already know that the fight is fixed. You already know that you are victorious, right? But that's easier said than done because in the midst of it, it doesn't feel like you're winning. It doesn't feel like you're going to be victorious at all. However, you just have to keep going and keep pushing because eventually it'll pass. The storm is over. I can think of many a times where it's in situations and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to get out of this. I'm not going, this is going to be bad or whatever. And now years later, I'm not even phased. I don't even remember the anxiety or whatever it is because you got through it. But you just got to keep going. As we always say, keep living, right? That's
Okay.
what folks say, keep living, and you'll learn a thing or two, hopefully.
Okay. But if you like me at my age, I can probably say I'm stuck in my ways. So
Mm,
it ain't too much changing about me right now. I'm probably gonna be this way until the day I die. So when you get to them points in your life where you're stuck in your ways, it's over. It's over. Like you're gonna want to do things a certain way. You're gonna want people to treat you a certain way. You're gonna act a certain way. So, and in certain things you're not gonna attach yourself to either. You're not gonna just willy nilly just be on everything and do everything or be around different people and certain type of people because you're stuck in your ways now and you see life through a different lens. So, what might have been good for you at 20 years old, at 40, you might see that same thing as different, like clubs, for example.
child.
In my
I y-
20s.
Listen. You are not lying because I'm a whole 39, right? And I kid you not, my mindset right now is no. N- that's it. Like no explanation, no, second guessing. I said what I said and I meant it. If I don't feel it in my spirit that is going to bring me peace, no. Or buy or get somebody else to do it.
Okay.
Like
Bye,
in my
Felicia.
20s, in my 20s, I did a little bending. I did a little compromising. But now, baby, listen, I got more years behind me than I do ahead of me. So at this stage of the game, the last bit of years that I have left, oh, you could dismiss me with the foolishness because
Mm-mm.
it's all about peace over here. Like
Okay.
you know,
Yeah, I'm not. No, you couldn't get me to go to no club scene right now. You can't get me to go to. It's hard to get me in a bar right now. Like it's just too much going on in the world. Like people dying. Like you go to the club to have a good time and dance and party and stuff. Dead. So instead of me putting myself in situations now, I'm looking through it with binoculars now. Like, do I wanna? Nah, I'm good on that. You can
is
go
it
by
worth
yourself.
it? Yeah,
Who?
is it worth it? Yeah.
Not me.
You ain't even gonna get me on a plane. Y'all thought y'all was gonna get me
Oh
on a plane
God,
before,
you get
child.
because
Not now. Oh,
yeah, you
Mm-mm.
is.
Nah.
You gonna have to because see your sister Arthur Nikki Nicole gonna be traveling soon, and I can't travel by myself because my wife can't go all the time. So you gonna have to get yourself together so you
Well,
can get on some of these plane trips.
we gonna get Gabby because she gonna be old enough. Okay.
Somebody gotta watch the baby.
Mm,
If I take her,
listen, I don't know.
man.
For her, I just might. But we gonna
Yeah,
go
you
on there
will.
scared and trembling because the way these planes is going down. Okay. You
Yeah,
know.
I believe that. I believe that too. I'm with you on that. The way these planes falling out the sky, nah, I'm a little eerie, a little bit eerie. But I mean, it is what it is. All right, so let's get these questions. Now, y'all know we always have questions, right? So, since this was her prompt, so I'll be reading the questions from my end. All right, so first question: how do you balance striving for growth with accepting yourself as you are?
I think that goes along with, giving yourself grace because, as you're growing, you're learning about yourself. You also learning about who you were, some of your triggers, trauma, everything that comes along with the makeup of you. So you have to learn that there's a goal and then there's also attempts to get to the goal. And in the midst of the attempts, that's when the trial and error comes. And you have to give yourself grace in those moments because trial and error don't look the same for everybody. So, in certain areas, you might get it wrong 50 times, and in other areas, you might get it wrong only twice. So, you just have to know what's your lane, what's not your lane. But that's the whole fun of the process because you get to learn different experiences. So, I balance striving for growth with accepting myself as I am, just by giving myself grace and telling myself like I'm human, and in order for me to get where I want to go, I have to continue to show up, right? That's your word. I have to continue to show up for myself and don't stop until I reach the point of, okay, I'm good now.
But you know what I've learned? See, the hardest part about this question is if you're already a person that already is looking at yourself like you're not good enough and you don't know who you are, then that's like a process in itself. Because see, all my life I've been the one that like, if I do this, I'm not gonna be good at it. Or what the people gonna say? I've always thought about what others thought of me. But now, walking in the purpose that I'm walking in now, I know who I am. And ain't nobody gonna tell me nothing different. You understand me? Ain't nobody gonna tell me nothing different. It has been a struggle, but once you know who you are, like you said, that trial and error comes in. Now you begin to step out on faith. You begin to take risk. You begin to do the things that you should have done a long time ago, and then you try it out. It might not work the first time, like you said, it might not work the first time. But you have to go through things in your life in order for you to balance growth, if that makes sense. You have to deal with people and things
Yeah.
to learn from those mistakes that you made. Now, I'm not going to circle back over here because that time that caused me pain. Or I'm
Yeah.
not going to circle back over here because I found betrayal over here. Or I'm not going to come back over here because they like to ruin my life. So you learn that by just
Yeah.
living life.
Yeah.
You have to go through some good and some bad. You got to have a mixture of both in order for you to fully mix that recipe to be who you truly want to be. Put the right ingredients in, though. I've learned I've had a lot of ingredients that didn't taste well
I
in
know
my
that's
life.
right.
Okay. So when you cooking, you gotta taste as you go. I didn't taste the product as I was as I was mixing.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I had to readjust and reevaluate and say, you know what? All right, let me take this out. I don't need no pepper in here. I need a little bit more salt. And
Mhm.
that's when I started realizing what truly aligned with me and what really
Mhm.
mixed well with me. They go a visual for you. But I just did a visual,
I was just
y'all.
about to say, come on here with the visual, okay?
I just did a
I got
visual.
another one for you. Come on, you just making me think of one. Okay,
Ooh.
come on
But
here.
yeah, but you got to know what you got in your mixing bowl. You
Yeah.
have to, and you have to adjust. Now, the old people used to do a pinch of this and a pinch of that. But
Mhm.
sometimes in your life, you got to use the measuring cups because you might
Yeah.
have too much of something,
Oh,
and you got to take it out and readjust
okay. Come
so
on
you can get to the
here.
right taste in your
All
life.
right.
It's the
Yeah.
same thing with life, sis.
Yeah.
Same thing. You just
Yeah.
gotta remove some of the ingredients and add some more to give you more flavor in your life. And guess what? That's where the balance for growth comes.
But then that
Mm.
comes with experience because like you said, let's think of our, the generation before us. They started off with a recipe, right? And then as they got older, they started to do things on their own. They started to add to and take away, like you said, right? And then everybody's taste is not the same. So some people like sugar in their spaghetti, some people don't. So it's all about your individual taste buds, like you're saying. And I love that you said that because that's exactly how it is. As you grow, as you learn, you start to resonate and rest in what's comfortable for you. I've told you this a couple of times. I am releasing people's expectations, and my expectations of people because I'm learning what's for me. I need peace around me. I need people that's going to pour into me as I'm pouring into them. And it's okay if you cannot do that. Just know you won't have instant access to me. You will be on the outside. So you'll get the overflow of the overflow, right? So you have to understand where you're going to be and you have to understand where I'm going to be. When there's no beef, you just can't have the access to me that I thought we once were able to establish.
Boom. In a nutshell. In a nutshell, boy, they gonna miss that. They gonna miss that now. It went over the head.
Okay.
All right. So can you share A moment in your life where you learned a powerful message through growth. They gonna went deep on you right there now.
Mm, I, can you share a moment in your life? You know, black people, that's when it's deep when you got to repeat it. Can you share a moment in your life where you learned a powerful lesson through growth?
Mm,
I learned that what's for me won't miss me. And I learned that because I had a tendency to force myself onto people, and I don't mean that in a way where we used to say in the back in the day, like she forced it. Mm-mm-mm. I mean, I used to force relationships, whether they were romantic or platonic. I used to force if I was at a job and I knew it was a toxic work environment, but because I needed a check, I would stay there. I would force myself onto people, places, and things. And as I'm growing now within this new year, it's time out for that because God provides all, right? He is the ultimate source. So where he will supply a resource, he can supply another one, especially if you know who you are and whose you are. Like in this recent situation, you know, when I was working at the daycare, that was a toxic work environment. Every day I would be stressed out. Now, the old me, I would have sat there because I'm like, okay, I got this apartment, I got the boys, I got this, da, 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 da. But I'm like, okay, God has put me in a situation where, you know, I'm able to make a move and step out on faith. So let me trust that, right? And I kid you not, the minute I decided to leave that job and say, okay, God, I trust you, boom, here come my taxes. Usually the taxes take almost a month. This was the quickest I've ever received my taxes, okay? And the taxes has sustained me the entire time to the point now where the money was about to run out. Boom, here comes a job. Not only is this another job, but this is a job that pays more and allows me to do less. Okay, come on here, Jesus.
come on,
That's
Jesus.
what happens when you know, you just trust the process and you really understand the power of who you are and whose you are. Like I know I say that a lot, but that is just so vital for us to get into our minds to know who we are and whose we are so we don't have to tolerate anything less than we deserve and to really understand that what's for you will not miss you. And if it's an opportunity where you are not invited, if it's an opportunity where you feel like you got to force, then that means it's not for you because what's for you is going to bring you peace. What's for you is going to intentionally seek you. And what's for
Mm-hmm.
you is going to fit. You're not going to have to force anything.
Nothing.
And that's what I had to learn.
Nothing. But you know what I've learned? Everybody's cup of tea ain't mine. I like my cup of tea warm with a little bit of milk in it and some sugar.
I ain't never had no milk in my tea.
Oh yeah, it's good. Everybody, see, you just proved my point. Everybody don't make tea the same way. And I like it to be hot, so I like to brew it in the coffee pot. Now, I've dealt with a lot of people that like room temperature tea. Dealt with a lot of people that like ice cold tea. Now, I like ice cold too.
Yeah, I like room temperature, so I could just drink it right then and there. Mm-mm.
So that proves
Mm-hmm.
everybody is not my cup of tea. Meaning that I had to learn who I was and what I deserved. And I knew that I deserved better. And a lot of things that I was dealing with in my life, and sometimes to a degree, I'm still dealing with some things because I'm still trying to get away from the people pleasing era where I can start saying no, when I can stop answering the door when there's a knock, when I can stop jumping up and running to everybody's rescue when they need me. I'm still a working process when it comes to that. But I had to realize that just because this person does things this way doesn't mean that they're going to do it the way I see fit. Everybody is not going to do things that the way Nikki wants it to be done. That's hard. Even to this day, I'm still dealing with that too. Because Like I said, I'm at that age where I'm stuck in my way. So it's a lot of things I'm not gonna deal with. Because when you start getting older, you start reflecting on how you were raised more so. And that's why I say anything that your parents have ever taught you in your life, you will never stray away from it. That's just like them teaching you the Bible, introducing you to God. If they taught it to you, God is gonna come right back full force. Everything that they taught you is gonna come back full force. So, with that being said, I'm at that point where my teachings are necessary now. Anything that my mom has taught me is coming back full force. Whether it's treat everybody the way they want to be treated, whether it's continue to be good to people because you will be blessed. Everything that she's taught me that has built me into the person I am today is coming back around and teaching me that listen, it's time out. It's time out for the mess that you dealt with in 2024. It's time out for the mess that you dealt with in 2023. Whatever you dealt with in your life, it's time to stop. So the lesson in that is it's time to be about Nikki. And I never thought I would say that. Sis, when I tell you I would jump over hurdles, roll out the door, run when it comes down to people I love. But when it's my turn, it's not reciprocated.
Crickets.
But I really believe when you love people, you show up for people. And there's no better way to show people that you love them than by through action. And people don't understand love is a verb. It's really a verb. You can tell me all day long, oh, I love you. You do? Now I'm at that stage where I'm like, do you really? Who? You love me? Nah. Show me. If I call you and ask you for the littlest thing, if I say, hey, sis, can you pray for me? And you make time to pray for me, that's love. It's just that simple in a nutshell. Now, whether I can think about a particular moment, it's always hard for me to think about a particular moment in my life when I've dealt with something. I say friendships. I say friendships. Friendships has always been something I wanted, I desired. And I felt like I had to be this extra person to make people like me or love me. I had to just be outgoing, bubbly, just step out of my zone for people to like me. When the whole time all I had to do was just be me. So I found myself doing that over and over again, trying to be this person I thought people desired me to be. But when I started being myself, I realized that everything that's attached to me wasn't for me.
Yeah.
They didn't really like me. That's what I found out. They didn't like me. When I showed up as Nick and Nicole for real, whole boldly, they didn't really like me. They just liked the fact of what I could do for them and what I can bring to their world, what I could add to them. I'm not looking for no new friends. No new friends. That's where I'm at right now. I'm on zero.
Okay, Drake.
I'm on zero. You can't even get in here. The door is locked,
Not
closed.
locked.
It's locked. It's got a deadbolt on it, a couple of deadbolts on it.
Wow.
Who? Not me. You can't. You can't get no key. You're not going to even be able to break in that door at this point.
Wow.
I don't trust and loyalty are big, and integrity are really big with me. And if I can't, first of all, I gotta believe what you're saying. I gotta trust what you're saying. And I gotta believe that even though we're not in each other's face, that you're still gonna be loyal to me. And if you ain't, if you do talk about me, at least come back and tell me you talked about me. Like, come on, let's just be real. If we right there with each other, loyalty, integrity, and trust are big things when it come down to friendship, and a lot of people take that for granted. So if I say I had to learn anything on this journey or what has been a lesson, the lesson in itself is to just be you, and everybody that love you will gravitate to you. Period. Period.
Absolutely.
All right. So how do you stay motivated to grow even when the process feels difficult or slow? Hmm.
I stay motivated to grow when I look at my sons, especially the little one. I stay motivated to grow because he is very dependent on me. Like the oldest one, he's 16, so he's almost grown, right? At this point, I'm bruh. I'm not even ma, like bruh, bruh, bruh.
Nah, bro.
But the 5 year old, he keeps me motivated to grow because I always want to impress him. I always want to do something, and he like, wow. But he's at that age where you can just tie his shoe real quick, and he's like, wow. So it don't take much. But him and my daughter, losing her, that keeps me motivated to grow because you want to be something that people can be proud of. You want to create things that people can talk about in a positive way. um Me having the desire to be the change that I want to see, that is the ultimate motivator as well, because I know that I'm here for a specific reason. My mom had her tubes tied when she had my brother. Okay, we 16 years apart. She had her tubes tied, and here I come.
I know
Right?
you lying.
She didn't find out she was pregnant with me until she was, I think she said 7 months pregnant or 8 months pregnant. By the time she found out, basically it was too late for her to, you know. So I know I'm here for a reason.
That's why your
And
name's Shera.
right. I know I'm here for a reason. So um I don't take that lightly anymore. I used to. And in my last relationship, I realized how valuable I am. Ironically, I realized how valuable I am, and I will never take myself for granted again in that way. So I want to always promote and put out things that people can glean from, people can learn from. Integrity is really big for me. So anything that I put out, I wanted to make me proud. I wanted to make my children proud, and I wanted to make God proud, because this internet, this stay forever. So, I don't want to have my children necessarily or mistakenly scroll upon something and they're like embarrassed that I'm their mother. I want them to say, wow, my mom was this or my mom was that, so that's what keeps me motivated.
It's always them people that come behind you. It's always them people that come. And sometimes it's the people that come before you too, like my mom. You know, I really, before she leave this earth, I want her to say, "Job well done, Nikki. You made it. You said you was gonna be a billionaire. Look at you." And I want her to be able to benefit from those fruits of my wealth. I want to be able to take her places she's never been before. I want her to step on grounds that she dreamed about. And them little ones that come behind me, boy, you just want them to look at you with the eyes of amazement. You want them to look at you and say, you know what? That's my mama. That's my grandma. That's what I want in my life. So them days, and Lord knows I have them days I be looking at my analytics, I'm like, they not really watching. Are they listening to me? What can I do better? Well, maybe I post it at 1 o'clock up. See what they do then. Maybe I posted at 3 o'clock. Sitting down, studying patterns, trying to figure out how I can get at the top the right way, the fast way. But sometimes I had to step back and look at myself and say, look, girl, let me tell you something. Slow process is still progress. Everybody does not climb to the top at the same pace. Some people get there just like that. And you don't know what they had to do to get there. But because you're trying to do everything right, it may take you just a little bit longer for the world to catch on. But you got to be okay with that. You got to be obedient, and you got to still remain authentic in everything that you do and watch how God move in your life. Just be patient. Now, I'm patient, but I am not going to lie. I do have them days where I be like, It's been almost
Like,
2 years.
all right, Jesus.
Come on,
Okay.
Jesus. What we
Take me off the
come
strongest soldiers
on? What we
list.
doing? Can you put me in the elevator so we can go to? Why I gotta keep taking the stairs?
Yeah, I got Amazon Prime for a
Come on, I
reason
mean, come
because I
on.
need it
Free
expedited.
shipping and stuff. Like I got. Come on. What I gotta do, Jesus? Do I gotta get Netflix? Like what I gotta do? I'm over here working hard because I keep saying, sis keeps saying quality over quantity, quality over quantity. She keeps saying that. But I'm over here like, well, you gotta have something to put up here. You can't. I sent her a video, short story, y'all. Sent her a video, right?
Not short story.
Tell y'all, take y'all down memory lane. Picture this. I make this video for the
Sicily,
guests.
1982.
Night,
Shout out to the Golden Girls. I love that show.
North Carolina, 2025. I make this video sitting in my home for a guest because they want to advertise their appearance coming up, right? I thought I did good, y'all. I was like, yeah, boy, I'm winning. I'm winning. Yeah, buddy. So some say, all right, just send it to sis and put an extra pair of eyes on it to see what she gonna say. I already know what she gonna say, but we gonna see if she gonna catch this. So long story short, I put a voiceover on it, right? And I had me at the bottom, just a motivational video at the bottom, right? Of course, the video is not gonna go with the voiceover because that's just me talking. Send it to her. Um, your mouth ain't going with what you said. I'm like, it's not supposed to. I done sent this to the guest, y'all. I heard but snatched it back. Unsent it, right? I'm like, I gotta redo it. So I go and I record with me on the video, y'all. So my mouth can go with the video. So I sent it to her. She's like, perfect, perfect. LOL. I know you lying.
Listen, if we not gonna do it right, don't do it at all. We all about integrity and intentionality over here. So if you're not gonna do it right, don't do it at all. We have pressed play.
Ooh,
We with a lot of people, okay, and we've seen how that came out. So that is not the gift God gave us. We do not
I
do
can't
that
get a
around
break.
here.
I can't get a break, y'all. Like I can't. Like so, if I do, I can't rush nothing. Everything that I do has to be, as she says, intentional. But I look at other people and their progress. I'm like, dang, they just jumping to the top, like with no kind of nothing, like no kind of work put behind it, no kind of thinking about nothing. Like literally, like you said, pressing play. But everybody's journey is not our journey. We got to start looking at it a little bit different. Our journey is not their journey. And who knows, their journey might collapse. They might actually collapse and fall later on. But right now, everything good. And then when we finally get there, we're going to stay there and we're going to keep on moving. So I've just learned that, listen, my motivation is everybody that comes after me and everybody that came before me. I just want to make them proud. And I want them to look at the screen later on and be like, you know what? Dang, mom made a difference. But it's always when you gone, when you leave that legacy, like literally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When you leave this world, that's when you make the most impact on the world. And it's sad. Then that's when well, you don't know because you gone. But everybody else know how good you was. Oh, she went to church every day. Oh, she was a spiritual person. Oh, she was just nice to everybody. But while I'm here, you didn't say none of that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It amazes me how much people adore you when you're gone, and then when you're here, it's like you would never know. That's why we have to live intentionally. We have to give people their flowers while they're still here. We have to affirm people because we don't know what people going through. And for somebody to say, "Yo, I'm proud of you," like that was a good episode, or whatever the case may be, you don't know how far that'll take somebody mentally. And even if you're not a
Yes.
podcaster, I appreciate you. You show up. You're a good mom. You're a good person. I really respect how you handle X, Y, and Z. Just anything, like anything positive. The world is so negative now.
Yes.
we have to change the narrative because there is nothing to look forward to. Like
Mm-hmm.
when you turn on the TV, it's especially if you watch the news,
Oh my God.
everything is so negative. So it would be nice, and it's nice to be nice. And
But you
like
know
you
what somebody
say,
told me?
people need people.
You know, somebody told me the world is a scam. You know, and I ain't think about it that way.
I believe it because you work all of these years for what?
To
You
do
can't take
what?
none of this money with you. You're not going to take anything that you possess monetarily with you when you go. You just here. That's why you have to again be
Be
intentional with the
intentional.
time that you have because you can't take none of this stuff with you. So you might as well enjoy your life and
Enjoy
don't
it.
waste it on people, places, and things that is going to stress you out.
You better say it live for the people in the back. So, what's one lesson you've learned that has changed your whole perspective in life?
You better live your life because you only get one and you shall not spend it with people that's going to stress you out. Because at the end of the day, those people ain't losing no sleep over you. So you will never see this day again. You might as well take full advantage of it. Do the things that bring you peace, positivity, prosperity, serenity, whatever word you want to use that's positive. Do whatever it is. Give yourself the same energy you give other people because at the end of the day, they're thinking about themselves. So you need to be selfish and think about you. Now, I ain't trying to say somebody need $1 and you got 5,000 and you don't give. No, I'm saying be intentional with your time. Pour into yourself. Make sure you do the things that will allow you to feel good about the life that you live. Create a legacy of positivity. So when you die, people are swarming at your funeral, saying so many different things of how you impacted them because of how you are and the person that you've become. You don't want to have a funeral where it's like two people or people be like, no, I she did. Okay, cool. You want to affect people in a positive way. Like, well, I can't speak for everybody else, but for me, I want people to be affected in a positive way, even with the littlest things. Dang, she used to always hit me up and check on me, see how I'm doing. Da 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 da. Like, I want people to have good impressions of me. Not, I've had enough experiences where I've given people enough bad impressions. So now I'm to the point in my life where all right. It's time to shake it up. It's time to switch some things around. I know what I'm here for, so
Hmm.
let's get to work and do positive things.
I know that's right. I've learned life is too short. And there's no discrimination on that either. The young, the middle aged, and the old are
Yes.
dying.
Yeah.
You could be talking to someone right now in the moment, and the moment is over, they're gone.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There's nothing like seeing the shovel being picked up and the dirt thrown into a casket of somebody that you love. Somebody that meant the world to you is now gone. Like you cannot pick up a cell phone and call them. You cannot go to their house and see them. They're gone. It's nothing like seeing that casket being lowered into that ground. And you're never going to see that person again. You're never going to be able to talk to that person again. You're never going to be able to do anything when it concerns that person other than go sit at the gravesite and talk to a person that they hear you, but you don't know they hear you. Life is real. Like people really don't take the time to love on one another because they think that it's always tomorrow. No, it's not. You don't always have the next day to spend with that person. If you don't talk to somebody you love today and tomorrow comes, how would you feel if tomorrow come and they're gone?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you're gonna be like, if I would have just
Mm.
called them back, they might have called you and you didn't call them back. don't even know what they had to say to you. I've been there. I've
Yeah.
been there, and that thing bothers me to this day to know that I had a voicemail to say, call me back. I got something to tell you. And couldn't call back because literally in the next moment, she was gone. So I never know what she had to tell me. That's why I really pride myself on 24 hours. And I think that probably triggered me to start thinking that way when that happened. When I started losing a lot of people that was key in my life that I loved so much that I wish heaven had a phone that I can call and talk to right now in this moment. When life started hitting like that, I was like, you know what? No, man. You gotta be careful with life. You can't just go around treating people any kind of way and expect to be rewarded at the end. Cause tomorrow's gonna come and you're gonna be like, dang, we just had an argument.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go back and correct that now. They're gone. That's how serious life is out here, and people take it for granted every single day that they open their eyes. First thing you should say is thank you.
Yeah.
Because the way we be out here treating people, God don't gotta wake us up. He don't gotta give us another chance to make things right with people.
You
He
don't
don't
have
gotta
to
give
do
us another
nothing
chance
else.
to become that billionaire that was already written in our chapter one. We're over here rearranging our chapters in our lives instead of just living life the way we're supposed to live life. Like we just had a conversation about the godly way. I said, sis, what's the godly way? Like we will be out here just rerouting our lives. God
Mm-hmm.
already set the destination. When we were born, he already knew what our stories were. He already set everything in stone. But we went behind his back. They go that trust and loyalty and that integrity. We went behind God's back and said, you know what? Nah, I don't like the way you did that. So I'm getting ready. Homeboy, I'm about to change this up. You might have told me to go down Jones Avenue, but nah, I'm going down Wine Street today. When you chose to go down that new path in that new street, you changed the whole dynamic of your life.
Trajectory. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, something that could have took you until tomorrow to get to, now it's gonna take you years
Yeah.
because you changed up the way God had already had your life organized. He knew what he was doing.
But you know
But
what? The craziest thing about God is he gonna have his way regardless. So you either come to him in obedience or you come to him in disobedience. But either way, you're gonna come. Now, if you come to him in obedience, the way you get to him, it'll be way smoother. But if you
mm-hmm,
come to him in disobedience, you might come to him with a limp. You might come to him with a few cuts, bruises, scars,
mm-hmm,
broken heart.
mm-hmm,
You gon' feel it when you come to him in disobedience. But the greatest thing, no matter how you come, whether it's obedience or disobedience, he's gonna have open arms waiting for you
mm-hmm.
because quiet as kept, he never left. He
But
was
you
just waiting
know,
for you.
but you know what my son said, and when he said that, he blew my mind. I said, "Boy, you came to me." He said that God will keep His hands on you for as long as He can, right? And then He realized that you're not listening and you're not going down the path that you should go. God says, "Devil, have your way."
Oh
He
yeah.
said, "God and the devil works together.
Yeah.
God will protect you for as long as He can protect you." But when you're constantly making the same mistakes over and over again, and you doing what you want to do, he takes his hands off you and say, "You got him. You got him, homeboy."
And sometimes he'll take his hand off just to test to see because that's what he did with Job. If you,
Mm-hmm.
read the story of Job, the devil had to ask permission, right? Okay.
Yep.
So God said, "Try my servant Job." So at the end of the day, God knew he was trustworthy. He would have never suggested him if he didn't know he was trustworthy. So sometimes we go through stuff because God believes you're trustworthy. Like they say, God will never put more on us than we can bear. That's because he knows in certain situations we're trustworthy. And it's not always, oh, woe is me or whatever the kid. Like sometimes that's a flex. You went through that because God trusts you to give him glory out of that situation.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to change our mindsets when we go through things
Yes.
because at the end of the day, God knows who we are. He built us literally for
Mm-hmm.
this. So we have to take the lessons that we've learned because that's what we're here for
Mm-hmm.
and try to help others avoid those pitfalls because some people are not that strong.
Child.
And that's why we had to go through it to be the Harriet Tubmans, to go back for the ones that were
Mm-hmm.
left behind.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Mm-hmm.
we get caught up in, oh, well, I got money now. The celebrities, I got money now. So forget Jersey City.
Okay. That's
N-
sad. And that's sad.
When you
You're a
knew you
guy.
was struggling and your family was on welfare, so you should put in. That's why I love Queen Latifah, because she'll come back and she'll do stuff for the community and different things
Wow.
like that. Um, you know where you came from, but you don't know where you're going. So yeah,
Okay.
you might have that money now, but how long do you know how long it's gonna stay? Do you know how long it's gonna remain? So you better be a good steward over what you have because you might mess around and then you end up losing everything. And then that same city you're gonna try to grovel back to, and they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be like, mm, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What they realize, God, a whole comedian out here. God have you laughing.
and no, he ain't funny though.
He ain't funny.
He ain't funny. His jokes ain't funny.
Woo.
His jokes ain't funny. No, I don't like
God
his.
be.
I don't like his comedy.
Oh my
Okay,
goodness. His
I don't
comedy is
like
a
his.
mess, boy. He
I,
have you thinking you about to
uh-uh.
lose everything, and then just to
Mm-mm.
come around and snap his fingers and everything just fall in place.
Like psych.
Okay. Just kidding. All right. So how do you reflect on your progress and recognize how far you've come?
Journaling helps me do that. Also Facebook. I love looking through my memories and seeing what I've posted and where I am now. And now they have the thing where it's like then and now, and then you can see like your transition and your face, and especially with my pictures because I can see where the light dimmed and I can see that the light is back now or it might be brighter. So I love to journal. I love to look at my Facebook page and see those timelines pop up and just really really look like, wow, in this picture I was going through X, Y, and Z, and I thought X, Y, and Z, and now I'm out of that. I haven't even thought about that situation, but this picture made me think of it. So it's like those things are very, very good. That's why I'm big on social media. People be like, oh, you like, I'm so big on social because it's another way to leave memories. It's another way to put a stamp on your progress, especially like with relationships. I love to see people when they have their pictures of when they first went out on a date and then they're married years later and you could see how young they were and then how mature they are now and different things like that. So I'm very big on like memories and progress and growth. So that's how I usually do it.
Well, I think my way is, matter of fact, one of my, I wouldn't say she was like a coworker of mine. I was her manager. She posted, and you write those memories. She posted a year ago when I was starting out with motivation, but didn't even know it. I was doing motivation. I literally would just get up every morning and do a word of the day. Right before I went to work, I would just do a quick video and I say patience. It's important for you to have patience today because you never know what God has planned for you. It'd be just something just that simple. She shared a video on Facebook and said Arthur, Nikki, Nicole is still relevant today. And it made me look at myself now.
Wow.
Like, wait a minute, I've come so far from that
Right.
person because I literally would just be in the car, driving along, or outside, in the yard, just a random, just everyday video, word of the day, belief, support, just something like that, and just be random. Or I just go live and do random stuff. So I'm like, do she know how far I've come from doing that? Like, I'm over here on a whole little platform now and I'm doing my thing. And I'm like, I was on my phone doing this. So it just it makes you appreciate where you came from. And that way, when where you're going, you're really gonna appreciate where you're going, and you're gonna be still humble in the moment. It's important for people to stay humble. And that's why when people come across my platform, they from where I stay, what I do. South Carolina stand up. Americana stand up. I'm like, yeah. I'm excited because I'm like, these my people right here, man. This is where I'm from. So it's a whole different ball game when I'm putting them in the spotlight because I'm like, this is where I'm from. This is where great people come from. This is where I want to highlight. So when they come up here, they don't understand what they do for me when they support me and my brand. They make me lose my mind because that says to me that my people from back home support me. So guess what? I'm supporting them too. So you have to remain humble in your journey. And like you said, journaling does work. I did recently start writing when I started doing this challenge. And these challenges, and now I'm shifting into Transformation Tuesday because the word out there was we want to know more about Arthur Nikki Nicole personal journey. And I'm like, I ain't telling folk my business. But then I was like, you know what? After I recorded the first episode, I was like, you know what? That was therapy for me. I had to release that because I wasn't over my aunt's death. And I didn't realize that until after I completed that episode. I was still hurting. I was still hurting. I was still missing her. I was still needing her. I was still wanting to talk to her because that was the only person that understood me. That was the only person that really saw me as a person. So sometimes you have to tap into what people want you to do sometimes. And to be honest, this is a personal journey for me, and I didn't realize it. I needed this. So thank you for the feedback. Because at first I was like, I ain't doing that. You ain't getting my business. You just nosy. But now I had to go back and I had to thank that person. Thank you. I said, thank you for the feedback. Because you know what? This is going to take me on a personal healing journey that I probably need. Yeah, y'all can get a little bit of tea. Y'all can run and tell that. Do what you want to do. But at the end of the day, it's what I want you to know. So at the end of the day, you can run and tell whoever you want to tell. I'm good with it. But it's a lot of different factors that help with that progress and to look back and see where I started as a podcaster, then I became a motivational speaker, then I became a graphic designer, then
Come on here, run it
I
down
became
with
a
the
life
list.
coach.
Go on
So,
here.
honey, when you look back at your life, like my mama said, when you look back over your life,
But it also confirms that you're moving in the right direction. Because if you're looking at, you posting word of the day, and now you got motivational Monday. So you went from a word to an episode. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, I see the evolution, I see the growth, and this is also it's in me, and that's like God too. He always gives you everything that you need pertaining to life
mm-hmm,
and godliness. So
mm-hmm,
whatever your purpose is already in you. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to, enhance. It's already in you. And that's what people need to understand. Whatever it is that you just do, that's your purpose. Like if you are a motivator and that's your purpose. But we spend thousands of dollars for somebody to tell us what your purpose is. Child, just pray. It's pray. Like
yo, look, I got another long short story because I ain't gonna hold y'all too much long because we got one more question. But look, let me tell y'all this long short story. Picture this.
not a long short story.
Jersey, New Jersey, conversation 2025. No, this might have been 2024.
This can
Cause
go
y'all we
either way because I don't know how many conversations we done had, child. I
okay,
told y'all she was
okay.
Pentecostal in these episodes. I told y'all.
But picture this. Now we've been rocking y'all. Oh, we celebrated anniversary, y'all. We've been rocking with each other. Yeah, we got a
For
friendship
yeah.
anniversary for a
Hmm.
year, y'all. We had a year. We made it. Pum pum. But anyway, so long short story. Picture this. Jersey City. We're gonna say Jersey. And we're gonna say North Carolina. Maybe 2024. It might have been 2024 when this conversation dropped down, right? She said, how do you prepare for your motivational Mondays? And I was like, I just set the show up and I talk. just like I off the top of the dome, right? She's talking about, well, I prepare my beauty marks. I said, prepare. So look at me now. I'm like, mine just, going like, okay, well, let me see how that gonna work. So here I am, y'all. She got me studying and researching my stuff. Like if I say the title gonna be Can You Believe in Yourself? Here I am over here trying to figure out, can I believe in myself, and writing speeches and stuff, y'all. I'm writing speeches down and I'm memorizing and I'm practicing it and stuff. I tried it her way, y'all. But let me tell you something. Even though I prepared like that, honey, when I got behind this mic, I probably hit the
Pentecostal.
first couple of sentences or so. And next thing you know, I'm going off. Do you believe in yourself? You know, you gotta do this. You don't know what I wrote. It's just strolling, y'all. This behind the scenes story for y'all. It's just strolling, because we do teleprompters over here. So it's just strolling and I'm talking. And so when I finally like blink back, if y'all pay attention, I blink back into myself. I'm like, I'm trying to catch up with the scroll now. Like, oh, dang, I done lost myself. And then I be like, wait.
That's that Pentecostal. I'm trying to tell you, y'all just be there,
So,
boy. Y'all just.
so long story short, y'all, I cannot prepare like my sis. We are too different with that. When it comes to that, as far as me and my house, for me and my house, I gotta just go for the dome and let it flow and let them people know
I
that,
do that because it's
yeah,
a lot of ums and ahs and this and that
you can
and stuff
go.
like
It's
that.
pre-recorded,
So
sis. Take it
I
out.
mean, who got time? Listen, we don't got time for that. I ain't got
That's another difference we got, y'all. I watch my stuff over and over again, and I go out now. Now I'm to the point, and I'm so anal to the fact that I am taking those. I said a lot in my episodes, and I don't like that.
time.
You know, and So now I done went back, y'all. Now I go back and I take out in a minute. Like I go
No.
back and be that anal with my episodes
Listen,
now.
what you get is what you get.
That's a dang on shame. That's a dang on shame, bro.
Love ya, but what you get, you're gonna get. Listen, I don't have time to edit and go back and replay, and it's like, I mean, now with season 6, um, I am a little more intentional with what
Y'all
I'm
heard that,
doing.
y'all? She coming back, y'all. She coming back.
Yeah. So, season 6 is a little more intentional.
God is so
Our
good.
the solo episodes are video now. Okay.
God is
So
so good.
we have moved forward in transition, and I'm taking it one day at a time. I'm not going to
Mm.
overwhelm myself. I'm pacing myself the way I'm supposed to. So
I
I
had to
have, like
put
I
on the
said,
altar, y'all.
I had to remove the expectations because, trying to keep up with you, forget it. You'll be overwhelmed, child, because you be doing like 50,000 episodes, okay? And
You're
then you just be like, boom, 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 boom. But again, like you said, we're totally different. You have all night to just record, 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 record,
but
because you don't
but
go to sleep.
okay, but your tea ain't my tea. You say you like room temperature. I don't. It's got to
Oh
be
yeah, that's
hot
what
or
I'm
either
saying.
ice
That's
cold.
that's why that ain't for me. I gotta, I gotta do
Your
it.
journey is your journey.
I
So
gotta do it in my way. But that's something that I dealt with, and
you
I talk
did.
about that in
Oh.
the episode. Imposter syndrome, being in the first stages of podcasting. The first 2 seasons I did it my way, and
Mhm.
then I got introduced to you guys, and it just flipped my whole mind. Like I'm like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. No, you don't have to do
You
anything
don't
but
have
stay
to do
black and
nothing.
die.
Okay.
But you get consumed with trying to keep up. You know what I'm saying? If
Mhm.
you really want to do this, oh, this is the level that you have to be. No,
No.
no, no,
No.
no, no.
Just
And that's
build
in
you.
life. That's not even in podcasting, specifically. That's just in life. You do not
Mhm.
have to mimic, keep
Nope.
up with anybody.
Just be
You are one
yourself.
of one, and that's the episode. You are one of one, and you are one of one for a reason. So, the sooner you tap into that, the better off you'll be.
Amen. You better say it again. You better say it again. Don't get overwhelmed with other people. Hey, that's who that was. Which coach that was? Coach Tammy. Was that Coach Tammy? Say that's their stuff.
Yeah.
That's their stuff. I mean, don't worry about my stuff. Don't worry about my stuff. You worry
Oh,
about
I'm a
your
worry
stuff.
because you need to go to sleep. I'm a worry.
Yeah.
But
See, I'm trying to get
it
you.
ain't gonna overwhelm me to the
I'm
point
trying to
where
get
I
you out
lose
my
sleep.
business. Trying to get you
That's
out my business.
that's the new one. I'm not gonna let it overwhelm me to the point where I don't get no sleep.
You be in my business. I got
I'm
to get
going
you
to
out my
bed,
business.
and if I get up at 4
Oh,
in the
you
morning
going
and
to
you
bed
still
anyway?
up, we gonna have a problem.
Huh? That's why I be. Hey, y'all. Let me tell y'all a quick
Look, she got
secret.
another little quick. See,
Let me take this question off the screen. Y'all look. So I be learning her now. See, I know her. So y'all, I used to be like logged into Facebook, on my screens while I'm working stuff. I'm telling myself I don't
uh
do that
huh.
no more, y'all. So I exit out of Facebook because she see that green light, she gonna say something, right? So I'm like, yeah, she'll know I'm up. So I log out
Hmm.
of it now. I just found that
I
out
know
though
she
all this
up.
time.
I know she up. You know why?
Or I turn my
Because when
status
I
off,
wake
y'all.
up, yeah, when I wake up and it say active 5 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago, I say, yeah, she stayed up all night. Good night. Don't even say good morning. We just
So when
saying good
she
night
said
at
good
this
night,
point.
I have to exit out of Facebook. Then I can't go back on Facebook no more.
Mm-hmm.
Got them. So you still
Mm-hmm.
won't know I stayed up all night.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord. Last question, Lord. We been up here a minute. What role has failure played in your personal growth journey? Who is this? Go ahead.
That's on you. You won't answer that one first, cause baby, you said you got the answer for that question.
Okay. All right. So without failure, you cannot truly be who you were born to be personally. Because I do believe that everybody was made in his image in a unique way. We were supposed to have certain talents. We were supposed to be able to do certain things. Some people are a little bit better at certain things than the others. Everybody has their like they say, they fall short of glory at times. So I do believe that without failure, you cannot really step into the person that you were born to be. Now, just imagine a life without failure. Imagine a life without fear. How would that be? Because if you're not afraid to take a risk, that's probably going to be worth it. Just say we just jumped in the water. No, we can't swim because as children, that's how we are. We're fearless. Just jump in the water. No, you can't swim, but know that if you jump in that water like that, you can drown. Right. So if you do jump in the water, because you don't have no fear of nothing, you're fearless, and you almost die from drowning. That's just like failure. We often go through things in our lives. We get ourselves in these situations. I'm going to say we get ourselves in situations because we make choices and decisions that can make or break us. And sometimes we jump in the water, we go into the deep end instead of going to the shallow end. Now we're above water. The water is up and now we're struggling to breathe because we decided to take our grown self out there in the deep end, knowing we could not swim. So now we got to deal with the failure. We got to deal with trying to fight to breathe again and trying to fight for our lives because we done put ourselves in this position where we knew we couldn't swim. We went to the deep end, but we went out there anyway. So now we have failed. We officially failed. So now we got to figure out how we can overcome this. How can I get back to shore? How can I make it to the shallow end? Life is the same way. Sometimes we get over our heads and we go to the deep end. But that's all right because that's when God steps in and takes us back to the shallow end, takes us back to shore, rescues us, even though we did it to ourselves. So I just feel like you need failure in your life, just like you need the success in your life. You need to have that balance because if you didn't have that balance, you wouldn't know what mistakes you made. Everything in your life, I say this a lot, everything in your life is a test. It's a test. We've been taking tests all our life, even through school. You had to take a test, right, to get to the next level. You had to take a test to get to seventh grade. You had to take a test to get to eighth grade, so forth and so forth. So that's the same thing. Even though you're an adult now, you're out of school, you got your degree and everything, you're still being tested. God is still watching. He's still looking at everything that you're doing. So he's gonna put that chocolate cake in your face, even though you know you diabetic and you ain't supposed to be eating it. You know you want insulin and metformin. Got no business with it. But he put that cake right there to see what choice you're gonna make. Everybody has choices. And sometimes we make the wrong choice and we have to pay for it. So now that you ate that cake, your sugar high, you're about to fall over. Now you at the ER. Now they got to bring you back to life because you made the choice to eat that chocolate cake. And you know darn well you ain't had no business eating it, but it was so good. It was so good. It was melting in your mouth, and now you're paying for it. You failed. So what? Did you pass the test or not? No, you ain't passed the test. You failed. So when you fail a test, you got to repeat the process, right? That's just like you failed the fourth grade or fifth grade or whatever grade you fail. You got to go back and what? Repeat it again. Now that you're repeating the process, guess what? You're better at it because now you learned the lesson. You failed. Now you're going to pass the test. See, sis, I'm Pentecost. Let me get up off here. Girl.
That's a motivational Monday from Coach Author Nikki Nicole. And if you want more of that, you tune into Breaking the Silence on Mondays when she do motivational Mondays, because that's what you get. Okay. Now I'm gonna give you the Baptist version. Okay, because that's not me. So I have another. Let me see.
Been
Another
around you too long.
outlook. Yeah, that's because
Yeah.
you
Doing
Pentecostal.
visuals, man. I've been around you too long, man.
So I have another outlook on that. For me, I don't think now I don't see things as failure. I see it as learning experiences because the Bible talks about what the devil meant for evil, God meant for our good. So anything that may look like failure is actually a setup, for us to do whatever it is that we need to do. So you might be set back a little bit, but it's not a complete failure because failure means unsuccessful. That's what the dictionary says. So anything that we do,
Come on now.
anything that we do is set up for our success. So it's technically
Mhm.
not a failure. It's just a life learned lesson to get us to where we need to be, or a stepping stone to get us to
Mhm.
where we need to be. So, like, for the cake reference, if you want to do the cake reference, yeah, we're going to eat the cake. I'm not eating that. I'm going to eat banana pudding. But, that might get me diabetes. However, you might be the person to be the spokesperson for diabetes now because you done been through certain things, right? To
Mhm.
get you to this place. Now, it ain't ideal. It might not be ideal because now you got diabetes,
Right. Eat the cake,
but
anime.
you are a spokesperson, which sets you up to help other people, right? So anything that you do is all about mindset, is all about reframing your mind. And you really have to understand that what you go through is not for you. You are the blueprint to help somebody else get through. So to me, failure is a life learn or learning lesson, stepping stone to get me to where I need to be. If I
Mhm.
don't do it right the first time, then there is opportunity to do it again. So I've learned what I got wrong so that way I won't make the same mistake again. Just like you said with the test reference, if I quote unquote fail the test, then I already know what answers I need to do the next time so that way I can pass. So it's a
Mhm.
setup for your comeback.
She called me Pentecostal. She just as long winded as I am. She been around me
Not
too long. Yes, you is. You be. Yes, you is. You ain't Baptist no more. You done stepped into the Pentecostal side.
I'm Kojic. I'm Kojic.
Ah, y'all. She was Pentecostal lady. She be getting deep with it too. So I ain't want to hear it. I ain't want to hear it. Don't call me Pentecostal no more. You done joined the church, girl. Come on down to the altar.
Not
Come on
join
down
the
to the
church.
altar.
Oh
and leave all your
man.
burdens.
Oh man.
Oh man, this has been a great episode, y'all. We done held y'all a little bit too long today, boy, but it was a good conversation, y'all. We had to get that out of us clearly.
Hopefully
Clearly.
next month we'll stay under the 45-minute range, but we gonna see because
We all these conversations we have, these are conversations we have.
these
So
be our converse
oh,
hours. We be on the phone hours.
y'all get a
Okay.
snapshot.
Y'all get the snippet.
This is clips right here.
We
This
got
is
a
a clip.
whole book.
Okay. A whole book with notes. Sure do. But it's been great. I hope that y'all will put in the comments, to answer some of our questions that we have put up here. And just let us know how you're growing and how you're getting through life and what's keeping you motivated to stay grounded in your life. So that's it from me, y'all. Y'all know I'm short winded. She even though she called me Pentecostal.
What? Okay. Yeah, okay. So you guys, just if you don't learn anything else or take away anything else from this episode, just understand that you are human and give yourself grace to make room for mistakes. And you have the opportunity for another day to try again. So if you are given another 24, as my sister would say, that means you have the opportunity to try it again. And today might be the day that you pass. So, we're here as always, healing hearts and inspiring change. Talk to you later.
Later.